and I had my husband there. Like, I should have been fine, but whatever. He's a guy.
It's
Like,
not
it's
the
different.
same.
It's not the same. It just isn't.
And even with Corey, I learned my lesson. I was so thankful to have been with Dane because it was a big learning lesson for a lot of things. Him being the first pro racer I dated. And then when me and Corey started dating, it was funny because at the beginning I was like, you're either my boyfriend or you're my coach. You can't be both. Like, started yelling at him because it's true when you're in that relationship. Like, I don't want to listen to you. Like, don't listen. Like, I always tell him I'm not ready to receive your information. Wait till I ask you, because it's like, if you give me advice and then I crash or listen to you, then I'm going to take it out on the relationship later. So it's kind of that dynamic of being with someone. We've had to learn a lot, but it's pretty good. That's what I always yell at them. I'm like, you're my boyfriend or you're my coach. You can't be both. Like, you have to separate a little bit because it's kind of tough. Like when you have to take that home. So I understand what you mean by that.
Yeah, because I was wondering about that. Like you being a very strong woman, like how that may impact the people in your personal life. And same thing of dating another racer, making sure that there's kind of separate lanes that they exist in.
Yeah, I mean, I have to be thankful. I've only dated two pro racers, and they were obviously like extremely confident, strong men. Where being a strong woman doesn't intimidate them. Like they love it. If anything, like because I always pick on Corey. I'm like, I don't need you. I want you. Like there's a difference. But he loves it. Like they love it. They love my personality. Obviously, that way it works out so well. And he picks on me sometimes because I'll be struggling to like do something like on the motorcycle. I'm like, let me do it by myself. And he'll just sit back and laugh and watch. But it's just, I've been extremely grateful to date two amazing, men that were really smart and confident, and they loved it. Now, don't get me wrong. Like there are times where like, I'll be like, hey, can I get your help? Or, hey, obviously like Corey's extremely experienced racer. He's been racing over 30 years, like fourth generation pro, like he knows what he's doing. So in some aspects, like I will talk to him and ask for advice and other stuff, but he knows not to give unsolicited advice. Like I have to be willing to ask, but that's more my personality. But you just got to find someone that loves you, and I've been lucky. So
But he's not intimidated by you, and that's the thing.
absolutely
Like,
not. If anything, when I think I'm all super tough, he giggles because like I think I'm a pit bull, and he laughs at me and calls me like a chihuahua because my personality, I think I'm like 6'4" and I'm gonna beat someone up or rah, and he just laughs at me because I'm like 5'3" and like whatever, girl. But no, he doesn't find me intimidating. He just thinks it's funny.
No, that's a sign of a good man, though.
Yeah.
He loves you and he accepts you and he supports you, and that's wonderful. That's what we all should be so lucky.
And the
Right?
no unsolicited advice is huge. Can he go around and train like other motorcycle men?
No, I wish. He tells people it's so funny all the time because people will come up to him and be like, man, you tell Patricia this, do you tell Patricia that? He's like, I don't tell her. And he's like, I can't tell her a thing. She has to ask me something. But, like I said, that was kind of a learning lesson very beginning of our relationship. You just but I had to tell him like, hey, you can't tell me something until I'm ready to receive it. I said, when I ask you for advice, then I want it. I was like, if you give me advice and I don't want it, I'm not going to listen. I'm going to be angry. Like I had to tell him, and it took, a couple little trial and errors, but then he got it. But then he realized to me, I'm that kind of person in life. Like, you'll be at the gym working out and some guy wants to come give you advice. Like I didn't ask you for advice. I don't want it. I don't know who you are, or whatever. I'm kind of
You
like
don't know
that in
me.
general. Yeah, I'm like that in general. So it was just definitely having to talk to him. But it's so funny, like how many guys will come up to him and think like he's my coach and does all this other stuff. And he has to tell the other guys like, don't do that. You don't want to tell them what to do. But I feel like that's being like in a relationship in real life. You don't tell a woman what she needs to do. It's a danger zone.
True. Yeah, my husband, we've been married, 18 years now? And yeah, same thing. Exact same.
That's awesome.